Hello, Jordan here, bringing you the 9th episode on my Call of Duty Ghosts weapon guides. In today's episode we are taking a look at the Vector CRB. The Vector CRB is in the SMG category. It's a fully automatic SMG, designed back in 2006 and manufactured by American company Chris USA. The Chris Vector is a series of family weapons based upon its parent submachine gun design that was developed by Chris USA. Its common traits are its unconventional delayed blowback system, which reduces weapon recoil and muzzle climb. There are many variants of the Vector, such as the Vector SMG, which is a select fire submachine gun, the Vector SBR, which has a shortened barrel to it, the Vector SDP, which is a pistol version of the weapon, the Vector K10, which is a second generation version of the Vector, and finally the Vector CRB, which in real life is a semi-automatic carbine that features a 16-inch barrel. The Vector CRB in real life fires the 45 ACP round, or simply put, as the 11.43x23mm NATO round. So let's move on with some in-game information to do with the Vector CRB in Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer. The magazine size of the Vector CRB is at 32 rounds, however if you equip the extended mags attachment, this buffs the magazine size up to 48 rounds. It has quite an average fire rate at 759 rounds per minute. The reload time is also average at 2.53 seconds, and 3.2 seconds when the magazine is completely empty. Because of the slow reload time when the magazine is empty, you want to make sure you have a few bullets left in your mag before reloading, which shortens your reload time and gets you back into the gunfight. The Vector has moderate recoil and tends to go skywards. This isn't too bad, but it can be off-putting if you're going to mid-range engagements. The Vector CRB has the highest damage in its weapon class, at 45 damage up close, dropping off to 20 at a distance. This means it takes 2 shots to the head and 3 shots to the body up close, and over range it takes 4 shots to the head and 5 shots to the body. So moving on to my recommended attachments when using the Vector CRB. My first recommended attachment is the foregrip. When I use the Vector CRB, I don't want to use it just for close quarters, I like to use it to mid-range engagements. The moderate recoil of the weapon is quite off-putting when aiming at those ranges, so having the foregrip attachment, this reduces our recoil and allows us to maintain control over distance. My second recommended attachment is the silencer attachment. Because the Vector has the highest damage in its weapon class, it means that equipping the silencer attachment isn't going to bother us too much. Plus, keeping off the radar can be quite good as well. However, if stealth isn't your thing, then maybe you want to go a bit more precise and use my third recommended attachment, which is the red dot sight. The red dot sight gives us a clear view at target without having the iron sights disrupt our view. The red dot sights don't tend to be too useful on SMGs, however equipping the combination of a foregrip with the red dot sight can be quite deadly if you know how to use it right. And finally, my last recommended attachment is extended mags. Equipping extended mags doesn't just give you extra ammo per magazine, but it also minimises our chances of having that 3.2 second reload time when the magazine is empty. It's because of this you don't really need to use sleight of hand as a perk. Speaking of perks, let's move on to my perk recommendations. First up is Ready Up. As with any SMG, after sprinting you want to have your weapon ready to go whenever you need it the most, so Ready Up is a good choice as our first perk. My second recommended perk is Marathon. As with a lot of the SMGs, you have fast manoeuvrability, so why not make this fast manoeuvrability constant? So by equipping Marathon we can constantly run across the map, take out enemies without having to stop sprinting. My third recommended perk is Dead Silence. Once again this goes hand in hand with the Marathon perk. When constantly running around the map, you don't want the enemy to sound you out of where your location is, so by equipping Dead Silence, this makes our footsteps completely silent and leaves fear to unaware enemies. My fourth recommended perk is Focus. As with a lot of the weapons in Call of Duty Ghosts, you want to make sure that you don't flinch as you're shooting against the enemy. So by equipping Focus, this reduces our flinch. Also this perk reduces our sway, however with the SMGs lacking accuracy, this part of the perk isn't as important as the reduced flinch part. My fifth recommended perk is Scavenger. When I'm running around the battlefield picking off all the enemies, I don't really want to run out of ammunition, so by equipping Scavenger, every time I kill an enemy they will drop a scavenger pack, which will allow me to replenish my ammo supply, and keep on going on my kill streak. My sixth recommended perk is ICU. After encountering those close quarter gunfights and you've taken a lot of damage, you want to have your health regeneration speed up a lot faster, to allow you to carry on moving into other gunfights. So by equipping ICU, this helps you boost up your health regeneration speed. My seventh recommended perk is Ping. After killing an enemy with this perk, the enemy will release a sonar ping, indicating any other enemies in the nearby proximity. This perk is definitely essential with this weapon, especially when playing the free-for-all game mode. And finally, my last recommended perk has to be Agility. Even though the SMGs already have fast manoeuvrability, we can increase that by using the Agility perk. Alternatively, you can replace Marathon with this perk, However, I feel that Marathon is more beneficial than Agility. And finally, moving on to my recommended class setups for the Vector CRB. My first class setup is a free-for-all class setup that I like to use when playing free-for-all. As standard, our primary weapon is going to be the Vector CRB. For my attachments, I went with the foregrip and the silencer. I didn't go with any secondary, lethal or tactical, so this leaves the rest of our points spent on our perks. And the perks I went for are Ready Up, Marathon, Dead Silence, Scavenger, Focus and Ping. For my strike package, I went with the Assault Strike package, and my strike chain is the SATCOM, the IMS and the Battle Hind. My second class setup is more to do with TDM games. Once again, we're going to be going with the standard Vector CRB. However, this time for my attachments, I went with the foregrip and the red dot sight. Once again, I went with no secondary, lethal or tactical, so this leaves the rest of our points spent on perks. For perks this time, I went with Ready Up, Marathon, Dead Silence, Scavenger, ICU and Focus. Once again, I went with the Assault Strike package, and my strike chain this time is the SATCOM, the Sentry Gun and the Battle Hind. So this concludes my weapon guide to the Vector CRB. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be much appreciated, and if you've not subscribed to my channel, do so for more Call of Duty Ghost weapon guides. Join me next time when I'll be covering the SC2010. Until then, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.